Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another short mini-series with Process Pat. Today, I wanted to take just a few minutes of your time to help you in your next Scrum Master interview. I want you to take a few tips and tricks that I've learned throughout my career and apply them to your next interview so that you can come prepared and land that dream job of yours. Let's jump right into it. The first tip that we have is to focus in on your servant leadership. Focus on how you serve. How do you lead by example? And how are you able to influence your team and stakeholders for the betterment of your team? Don't just talk about it, be about it. Provide real examples of how you have done this in the past so that they can get a good understanding about how you apply your skills for the betterment of the overall team and organization. Servant leadership is key, and you must be able to express how you have accomplished this in the past with teams that you've supported in the past. The second is coaching and facilitation. What is your coaching philosophy? How do you coach? And what methods do you use to ensure your team is continuously improving? Most agile frameworks have a retrospective built into it, and that is an opportunity for continuous improvement and refinement. But as a Scrum Master, you need to be able to coach. You need to be able to facilitate. And these are two skill sets that take a long time to develop. But the best way to learn, the best way to teach others and to learn is to teach yourself and to learn from your mistakes as well to continue to push forward for the betterment of your team. The third is business impact. How has your leadership and coaching impacted the business in a positive way? How have you simplified the way people do their jobs on a daily basis? Have you been able to reduce friction? Have you been able to deploy process changes that help the teams interact in better ways? There are a lot of things that you can do as a Scrum Master, whether through toolset changes, process change, recommendations for resource changes. There are a lot of things that you can do to enable your team as a Scrum Master, and being able to tie that back to the overall business impact will make you much more valuable. The last tip here that we have is make sure that you are able to save time at the end for questions. This is arguably the most important piece of any interview. If you don't save time to ask questions, they won't think that you are interested. They won't think that you came prepared. They don't think that you are genuinely trying to make sure that this is the right fit for you and your skill sets. A few questions you can ask are, how is your organization and associated teams structured? This is important. Maybe the culture has Scrum Masters spread across 5 or 6 teams. It's hard to be a Scrum Master. In fact, it's impossible to be a good, detailed Scrum Master if you are supporting that many teams. What are your biggest challenges as an enterprise? If I could solve a problem for you and your teams day one, what would that be? Try to pull the Band-Aid off, try to understand what their pain points are so that you can see how you could use your past experience to apply and solve problems for them from the very beginning. How far are you along your Agile journey and your transition? A lot of companies are still in their infancy. It's very easy to deploy frameworks like Scrum. It's very hard to master them. And if you can poke and prod and ask where they are, where their hardships have been, how has the transition been difficult, maybe they're just in the very beginning of their transition and you will be a key component in leading them through that change. All of these things are you must know heading into that job. What does success in this role look like? If they cannot define success for you, you may not want to be employed there. You want to make sure that you can be successful in your role. And the only way to know if you are going to be successful in your role is if they have an understanding of what success looks like and they can define it themselves. So just to recap, make sure you are focusing on your servant leadership, focusing in on your ability to coach and facilitate for the team, tie the work that you are doing back to the business impact it is having for the overall organization, and make sure that you have the time at the end of the interview to ask important questions so that they know that you have done your research, that you are interested, and that it's the right culture fit for you. Interviews go many different ways. A lot of other areas that have been successful for me are diving deep down into metrics. At a lot of different companies, metrics are key. But metrics in a Scrum or an Agile world really only work if you have a trusting culture. Otherwise, it's very easy to manipulate them. As always, thank you for your time. Please click the link below to see more videos. I appreciate it, and I would love to see your comments. Thanks.